Vroom. Skirt. Blah. These are some of the noises you expect to encounter on a blacktop on a sunny day. Good old American-made engines burning rubber on the sticky road. Lucky for us, now you can hear them in the back section of Six Flags Magic Mountain's new land, the Underground. That's right, Six Flags has partnered up with the awesome guys at West Coast Customs to bring a new Premier Rides quadruple-launched single-track racing roller coaster. Lucky for you guys, me, the 949railer, was there on January 8th, 2020 for its opening day. Here's my quick review of my experience with West Coast Racers by West Coast Customs. Let's get right into it. So we got to the park at around 1 p.m. on this day. Unfortunately for us, it was raining. Boo! However, it was a relatively light crowd day, which was super surprising to us because of the momentous opening of the 19th coaster at the park. Of course, we headed straight to the Underground. It started to lightly rain at the park, which was only whetting my excitement for what was to come. As soon as we entered the Underground, I peered over to see how the ride was doing. Ride operators were evacuating riders. I knew that this breakdown was most likely temporary, but I wanted to stay close in case it had opened on a moment's notice. So, Shadon and I went over to Apocalypse, the Great Coasters International Woody right next to it. Apocalypse ended up being around a 45 to 50 minute wait because of its single train operations. But man, that retracking completed in October worked wonders for this ride. It hauls through every element with so much momentum. This thing is faster than ever before. Blah, blah, blah. This isn't supposed to be my vlog of a Six Flags day. You know what? I'm just going to get the viewers what they want and review West Coast Racers by West Coast Customs. Let's get back into it. So the ride ended up opening back up around 2 hours before its closing, so we got in at around 5:15 to ride. First off, the theming. This stuff rocked. The Q building was a giant West Coast Customs garage, and they even put a sick ride to look at. There was detail everywhere, like this paint wall, multiple insights on how they customize your whips, and cool tools everywhere. These guys were balancing one-footed on buckets while they changed the upholstery. These things moved every once in a while, and we figured out that they were actually the mechanics for the gates in the station. So that was cool that they incorporated into the mechanical theming. Then you go up to the cool spiral staircase up to the station. From here, they put you into rows, which we got second row. Honestly, this isn't where I wanted to be, but it was very cold and windy at this point, so we were kind of glad we weren't going to get pelted with cold air as the coaster went through its circuit. You have to put your things into these bins before you're getting assigned a row, and one of them had a questionable dark liquid in it. Ew! Now, the comfort collars on this ride have been a real talking point in this coaster community, so I was very wary at first to like them. They turned out to be totally okay for me, but that might be a different story if I was small like these kids. My neck and my head would constantly hit the collars. But hey, I guess a 6'1" dude like me fits the comfort collars nicely. All right, wave goodbye at the station, we are on to ride. The launch doesn't really pick up that much speed at first, but by the last 20 feet or so, it picks up. I would say it's one of the weakest launches that I've ever felt, but nevertheless, I think it's a great first launch for those non-launch queens out there. Next, the high five element. This is definitely better on the white side because of this crazy whip lateral that you feel going in and out of it. This actually might be the most intense part of the ride. This airtime that you feel on the side of your body is something to behold. From here, a great Top Gun stall that gives you the slightest bit of floater on the yellow side. Next, a little floater airtime hill that will take you down to the next launches. Now, this launch is fun. It gives you a boost of adrenaline that carries you to the rest of the track. By having the second launch, this ride feels like it kicks up into a higher gear. Now we're talking. This twin 0G roll is fun, and then the spaghetti bowl section is also fun. The reason why they work is because of the racing. It is a lot of fun to look at the train on the next track, and I'm pretty sure that the absence of this feature would severely detract from this coaster's overall funness. Now, this little airtime hill right here on the yellow side is a pure pop of fun, but I wish it could have been a little bit more ejector and thrilling. And then the yellow track does this 0G roll that is just great. I watch the other train race under me every time. That was a standout moment for me. One other aspect of the ride is that halfway through, you get to experience a pit stop, which is basically just a block break that waits until the other train is loaded and is ready to launch. Now, there was some speculation on what would be in this pit stop experience, but it ended up being really underwhelming. Turns out it was just our boy Ryan from West Coast Customs saying that he was just getting us ready for the next run. He says that the next ride will be more epic. which were words that I was very happy to hear. After a few more of these words, a matrix of Pimp My Ride episodes show up, as if we're watching 20 of them at once. That was kind of a letdown. But I have to say, West Coast Racers is a great addition to the park. It fulfills a young teenager, mild thrill seeker demographic that the park needed. Now that there is a new ride for my friends who don't want the insanity of Tatsu or X2. If you haven't been to Six Flags Magic Mountain in a while, now is the time to get on a super fun ride for all of the ages. Here are my ratings on the screen, and you should be aware by now that I do not grade out of 10. So yeah, West Coaster Customs. If you've ridden it, please let me know how you felt about it in the comments below, and don't forget to obliterate that like button and subscribe. This has been the 949 Railer. Later!